When you've poured every ounce of energy, sweat, and tears into training for that one moment in the spotlight, only to be remembered for a wardrobe malfunction that leaves the world laughing. From shocking uniform blunders to accidental exposures that went viral, today we're diving into the most embarrassing track and field wardrobe malfunctions that you won't believe. These moments are not just footnotes in sports history, they're legendary for all the wrong reasons. And trust me, the last one could have cost an athlete a world record, so stick around to find out which iconic champion had their big moment ruined by a wardrobe disaster. Let's start with a story that's hard to forget, the Colombian women's cycling team and their 2014 uniform fiasco. Imagine lining up for an international race, feeling the adrenaline coursing through your veins, ready to showcase your skills on a global stage. But instead of being remembered for their athletic prowess, these women became famous for their outfits, or should I say, infamous. The uniforms were designed with a flesh-colored strip across the lower torso that made it look like the athletes were completely naked from the waist down. What was supposed to be a sleek and modern design turned out to be one of the biggest fashion disasters in sports history. The moment they hit the track, the internet exploded. Social media was flooded with reactions, memes, jokes, and even outrage. One Twitter user quipped, "I'm no fashion expert, but even I know this is a disaster." And just like that, the conversation shifted from their athletic abilities to their embarrassing uniforms. It was as if the whole world forgot they were elite athletes, and instead they became the laughingstock of the sporting world. This incident is a perfect example of how even the best laid plans can go horribly wrong, turning a professional team into a viral sensation for all the wrong reasons. It's a harsh reminder that in sports, what you wear can sometimes overshadow what you achieve. But if you thought this was bad, just wait until you hear about the next wardrobe malfunction that left an athlete exposed on live TV. Urka Jol's camel toe curse. Now, let's shift our focus to an event that made millions of viewers cringe: Slovenian pole vaulter. Urka Jol's unfortunate wardrobe malfunction during a live competition. Picture this. You're competing in a high-stakes event, the cameras are rolling, and all eyes are on you, but as you prepare for your run, something goes horribly wrong. Urka, an accomplished athlete, was wearing a pair of tight-fitting sports knickers that decided to betray her at the worst possible moment. As she lined up to take her run, the cameras zoomed in, capturing an unflattering view that quickly became the talk of the internet. Social media was unforgiving. Comments flooded in, some sleazy, some sympathetic, but all turning what should have been a proud athletic moment into a viral sensation for the wrong reasons. Despite the embarrassing exposure, Urka remained focused and continued her performance as if nothing had happened. That's professionalism, folks. It's one thing to deal with a wardrobe malfunction in private, but handling it with grace on a global stage, that's next level composure. The internet may have been abuzz with her mishap, but Urka didn't let it break her spirit. In the face of public humiliation, she proved that nothing could shake her determination to succeed. This incident is a powerful reminder that even when things go terribly wrong, how you handle it is what really counts. And speaking of grace under pressure, our next athlete faced a wardrobe malfunction that almost overshadowed his Olympic gold medal. Christian Blumenfeld's translucent triumph. Next, we head to the 2021 Tokyo Olympics, where Norwegian triathlete Christian Blumenfeld faced a wardrobe malfunction that could have been a disaster, yet he turned it into a golden triumph. Imagine competing in the biggest event of your life, with the whole world watching. Christian was at the top of his game, ready to take home gold in the men's Olympic triathlon. But there was one problem. His specially designed lightweight suit, created to withstand the Tokyo heat, had an unexpected flaw. Under the bright sun, the suit became almost completely see-through, revealing more than anyone wanted to see. As Christian raced through the course, his translucent suit became the subject of countless tweets and social media posts. One of the funniest reactions: "If I were competing in the Olympics, I'd be furious if my country made me wear a see-through suit." Despite the wardrobe malfunction, Christian stayed laser-focused. He powered through the race, ignoring the potential embarrassment, and crossed the finish line first, securing his place in Olympic history. It's not just his victory that's impressive, but how he maintained his composure in the face of such an unexpected and distracting situation. His ability to overcome this wardrobe disaster and still clinch the gold medal is nothing short of inspiring. Christian's story is a powerful reminder that sometimes the biggest victories aren't just about winning, they're about overcoming the challenges that try to get in your way. But if you think that's impressive, wait until you hear about the marathon runner who faced a wardrobe malfunction and still achieved a personal best. Joseph Urban's marathon mishap. Now let's talk about Joseph Urban, a marathon runner whose wardrobe malfunction was broadcasted live to the world during the final stretch of a race. Imagine the scene. You're sprinting towards the finish line, every muscle in your body screaming, and you're about to complete a marathon, a feat of sheer willpower and determination. But just as you're about to cross the finish line, disaster strikes. Your shorts split wide open, leaving your private parts fully exposed on live TV. But did Joseph let that stop him? Absolutely not. Instead of slowing down or panicking, Joseph kept running, determined to finish what he started. The audience was stunned, but they couldn't help but cheer him on. In a world where most people might have crumbled under the embarrassment, Joseph powered through, finishing the race with his dignity, if not his shorts, intact. The media quickly picked up on the story, and Joseph's unfortunate moment became headline news. But here's the kicker. Despite the embarrassing mishap, Joseph managed to achieve a personal best time, shaving seconds off his previous record. It's as if the wardrobe malfunction gave him an extra burst of speed, though maybe not in the way he wanted. This story is a perfect example of how even in the most embarrassing situations, you can still come out on top if you stay focused on your goals. Joseph Urban proved that no matter what life or your shorts throws at you, determination is what gets you across the finish line. But sometimes the embarrassment is just too much to bear. Up next, the story of a young athlete whose dreams were shattered by an unexpected wardrobe malfunction. Alberto Nono's devastating drop. Let's move on to a story that's as heartbreaking as it is embarrassing. Meet Alberto Nono, a young Italian sprinter who was leading the pack in the Under-20 World Championships, well on his way to victory. But then, in a split second, his dreams were dashed. As Alberto raced down the track, his shorts suddenly failed him. His private slipped out mid-run, and in a moment of panic, he desperately tried to cover himself while still sprinting towards the finish line. What should have been a glorious moment of triumph turned into a nightmare, broadcast live for the world to see. Despite his best efforts to keep going, the embarrassment was just too much, and Alberto lost his lead, finishing last in the race. The emotional toll was heavy. At just 18 years old, Alberto's dreams of victory were crushed in front of millions. He later took to social media, pleading with people to stop sharing the video, but the damage was already done. The incident went viral, turning what should have been a proud moment into a lasting source of embarrassment. This story is a stark reminder of how unpredictable and cruel the world of sports can be. One small mistake, one wardrobe malfunction, can overshadow years of hard work, turning a promising young athlete's career upside down. Alberto's story is a powerful example of how sometimes it's not just about winning or losing, it's about how you handle the unexpected challenges that life throws your way. But wardrobe malfunctions don't always involve clothing. Sometimes it's the shoes that fail you. Let's take a look at the costly mistake that nearly cost one of the world's greatest marathon runners his place in history. Elliot Kipchoge's costly shoe failure. Finally, let's talk about a different type of wardrobe malfunction, one that involves footwear and almost cost Elliot Kipchoge, one of the greatest marathon runners in history, a world record. The scene was set at the Berlin Marathon, where Kipchoge was on track to break the world record, with every stride bringing him closer to greatness. But then, his custom-designed Nike shoes, meant to enhance his performance, started to fail him in the most crucial way. As Kipchoge raced towards the finish line, the insoles of his shoes began slipping out, forcing him to stop multiple times to adjust them. Every second counted, and these brief but frequent stops were enough to cost him precious time. In the end, Kipchoge finished the marathon just shy of the world record, leaving everyone wondering what might have been if his shoes had held up. But here's where Kipchoge's true character shines. He didn't blame the shoes or dwell on the loss. Instead, he took it in stride, demonstrating the grace and sportsmanship that have made him a legend in the world of athletics. This incident raises a crucial question. How much do we rely on technology in sports, and what happens when it fails us at the most critical moments? Kipchoge's experience is a reminder that even the best equipment isn't foolproof, and sometimes it's the athlete's mindset and resilience that make all the difference. Despite the setback, Kipchoge remains an icon, showing us that true champions are those who rise above the challenges, no matter what form they take. But shoes aren't the only gear that can fail you. Our final story involves a uniform that disintegrated right in the middle of a race. You won't believe what happened next. A lesser known but shocking malfunction. Now for a story that might not be as famous, but it's just as shocking and embarrassing. Imagine competing in a high-stakes race with everything on the line. You've trained for months, if not years, for this moment. But as you're racing, your uniform starts to disintegrate, literally falling apart piece by piece. This is exactly what happened to an athlete during a lesser-known event, leaving them scrambling to cover up while still trying to finish the race. As the fabric of the uniform fell apart, the athlete was left exposed, vulnerable, and completely humiliated. But the worst part, the race was being broadcast live, and the cameras didn't miss a beat. The athlete's desperate attempts to keep going while covering up made for one of the most cringe-worthy moments in sports history. In the end, the malfunction was so severe that the athlete had to be escorted off the track, their career forever marked by this unfortunate incident. While this story isn't as widely known as some of the others, it serves as a powerful reminder of how unpredictable sports can be. A historical wardrobe fail at the Olympics. Our next story takes us back to one of the most prestigious stages in the world, the Olympic Games, where history was almost rewritten due to a wardrobe malfunction. It's 1984, and all eyes are on the American sprinter Mary Decker, a favorite to win gold in the 3,000 meters. But as the race unfolded, it wasn't just Decker's athleticism that caught the world's attention. It was her uniform, which had been carefully designed to enhance her performance. Unfortunately, it did the opposite. As the race intensified, the fabric of her uniform, which was designed to be lightweight and aerodynamic, began to rip. At first it was just a small tear, but with each stride it grew larger until it became impossible to ignore. The tear exposed her midriff and continued to unravel, threatening to cause a full-blown disaster on the world's biggest stage. The cameras zoomed in, capturing every agonizing moment as the fabric failed to keep up with the pace of the race. But Decker didn't let the wardrobe malfunction slow her down. She kept pushing forward, determined to finish the race despite the growing embarrassment. Sadly, the tear wasn't the only disaster that day. Decker collided with another runner and fell, failing to finish the race. It was a heartbreaking moment that was compounded by the wardrobe malfunction. The incident left fans and commentators in shock, and it became one of the most talked about moments of the Olympics. This story is a reminder of how even the smallest design flaws can have catastrophic consequences, especially on a stage as grand as the Olympics. Decker's story is one of courage in the face of humiliation, a powerful example of how athletes must sometimes overcome not just their opponents, but also the very gear designed to help them succeed. And if you thought that was intense, wait until you hear about a marathon runner whose malfunction was so severe, it almost overshadowed his career-defining moment. The unlucky run of Paula Radcliffe. Finally, we arrive at one of the most infamous and unlucky wardrobe malfunctions in marathon history. Paula Radcliffe, a world-class marathon runner, was competing in the 2005 London Marathon, determined to defend her title and solidify her reputation as one of the best long-distance runners in the world. But as she neared the final stretch of the race, something went terribly wrong. Her body betrayed her in a way that no athlete could ever prepare for. With just a few miles left, Paula began experiencing severe stomach cramps. Desperate to maintain her lead and unable to find a restroom, she did what she had to do. Right there on the side of the road, in full view of spectators and cameras, she squatted and relieved herself, an image that was broadcast live and instantly became one of the most talked about moments in marathon history. The sight of a champion like Radcliffe in such a vulnerable and embarrassing situation was shocking to many, but what came next was even more surprising. Instead of letting the incident break her, Paula wiped herself down, got back up, and finished the race. First place. The crowd, initially stunned, erupted into cheers as she crossed the finish line. Paula's determination to keep going, despite the humiliation, was nothing short of heroic. She didn't just win the race, she proved that no matter how tough the circumstances, champions rise above adversity. Wow, what a journey we've been on, from the Colombian women's cycling team's unfortunate uniform design that turned them into an internet sensation for all the wrong reasons, to Urka Jol's wardrobe malfunction that was caught live on camera. We've seen how even the most seasoned athletes aren't immune to the unexpected. These moments remind us that in the high-stakes world of sports, it's not just skill and determination that matter, but sometimes a little bit of luck, or the lack thereof. We also witnessed Christian Blumenfeld's incredible focus as he raced to Olympic gold despite his see-through suit, and Joseph Urban's unyielding determination to set a personal best, even as his shorts betrayed him on live TV. And who could forget Alberto Nono's heartbreaking experience at the Under-20 World Championships, where a wardrobe malfunction dashed his dreams of victory? These stories are more than just funny or cringe-worthy moments. They're about resilience, perseverance, and the unbreakable will of athletes who refuse to let embarrassment define them. And of course, we explored the costly shoe malfunction that almost cost Elliot Kipchoge a world record, as well as the lesser-known but equally shocking incidents that have left their mark on sports history. Whether it's a disintegrating uniform or an ill-timed bathroom break like Paula Radcliffe's unforgettable moment at the London Marathon, these athletes showed us that true champions are defined not just by their victories, but by how they handle the obstacles, no matter how unexpected or embarrassing. So what do these stories teach us? That in sports, as in life, things don't always go as planned, but it's how we respond to these moments that truly matters. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe to Sports Dive for more incredible sports stories. Share this video with your friends, because let's face it, we all need a reminder that even the best can have a bad day. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.